for like Stranger Things and stuff like that, where
Mhm.
she gets put in a tank and then all these things, she
Yeah.
comes upon herself and stuff. So, I try to talk Chris Nielsen into it, and he's on board.
To be able to investigate and not until
Mhm.
getting, with like in the last 15 years of really looking into it as into something this is we can do.
Everybody, welcome to the new Curiosities show. This is episode 3, I want to say. And today we have Nick and Sue Bashuta. I hope I said that right.
Yeah,
Close.
close
And
enough.
that's and they are Short Bus Paranormal.
Hi,
That you got.
everybody.
So how are you guys doing today?
We're
And
great.
where your team based out of?
We are out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The majority of us.
No,
We have a few members at some are in
Minnesota.
Minnesota, and then lower southern Iowa. But
Okay.
for the most part, Cedar Rapids, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad. I mean, Minnesota's
Well,
pretty close.
yeah,
Yeah.
he catches most of the investigations. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Where I am, I gotta drive a truckload. Figuratively.
Uh,
Usually it's my wife that does the driving instead of me because I don't like driving on the highway, so it's like I have to wait.
oh,
So she's like, "Okay, we gotta go." Yes, we gotta go. So,
I usually
but
get us there and he gets us home.
Yep.
So it's a
okay.
good trade.
Mhm.
There you go. Yeah. She gets into the investigations once in a while, but not too often. It's I don't know. It is what it is for her, but for me, I
Yeah,
love doing it. So,
absolutely.
all right. So we'll hit you with the first question here. And here's the question. So what got you guys into the paranormal?
It was all my fault that got Sue into the paranormal. I've always been a believer in the paranormal. Always believed in the spirits, and because I grew up in a small town in northeast Iowa, and my
Okay.
best friend lived in a home that was very active. But this was before I understood anything really about the paranormal and why anything could be haunted, why a spirit could be there, anything like that. We just knew that the home was very active. There were um, doors opening and closing, water would be turned off. You could hear footsteps going up and down the stairs. Nobody was there.
Sorry.
That is
Oh,
where I
that's good.
saw my very first shadow figure. And it was at that point I'm going, this stuff is legit. I really need to get more into this.
Oh
But there
yeah.
was a long lag in between that time and Short Bus Paranormal. But in between that period, I always had a big interest in it. Did a lot of reading, a lot of watching TV,
Yeah, about
that kind of
32
thing.
years.
Yeah, it's a long lag.
About 32-year lag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's that trigger that gets people to really invest themselves into it.
Yeah.
It's not always a quick thing. I mean, my first time was I was 7 when I noticed paranormal activity, but
Mhm.
Wow.
you're 7.
Yeah.
You
What you don't
can't
know
go
about.
and can't get too much into it because
Yeah.
you're 7.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
Not knowing what in that lag, knowing about any locations that were local for to be able to investigate, and not until
Mhm.
getting, with like in the last 15 years of really looking into it as into something this is we can do, is when we really
right.
started finding the locations, going, okay, this
Mhm.
is it. We've got to check these kind of locations out.
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, I got my first taste a few years ago, doing Sheboygan Asylum and a couple other
Yeah.
places.
Oh, yeah.
And
Mhm.
granted, I only had 4 hours to work with at Sheboygan because it was quite costly and still is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's just you catch that first EVP, you catch that first, uh, disembodied voice, you're hooked,
Just a
Yeah.
feeling you get when you walk in these locations. It's like nothing you experience anywhere else.
Mhm.
It
right?
really
Right.
is. You know,
And Sheboygan scared the crap out of my wife because we were down in in a shoot area where they move all the bodies in and out,
Mm-hmm.
and she got a tingling feeling on her lips, and she didn't know what that was going on. And he was doing a spirit box session, and I bet you I looked at her. I says, "I bet you the spirit's trying to give you a kiss."
I was gonna say something just kissed her. Yeah.
And how did
Yeah.
she handle that?
Oh, she just like, What's going on? I've never had this feeling before. This is kind of weird."
Yeah.
And then as this is going on, and the guy way in the back was seeing a shadow figure throwing stuff, so it's like, okay, this is fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the bad thing
Absolutely.
is, if you had to go to the bathroom, you had to go down there by yourself because the bathroom was on the other end.
Really? Oh, nice.
Mm,
So that
yeah.
was fun. That was fun.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
as you know, we cut our teeth at Edinburgh Manor, which was our very first ever investigation. And
Mhm.
that night too, that's what really got us hooked because we went out for a day tour and just decided,
mhm,
okay, we're going to pull the trigger. We're going to book this. And
yeah,
that first investigation we ever did there, we had so much activity. It was like it
kid in the
wanted
candy
us to
shop.
get hooked on this. Damn it, it got us hooked. It was just crazy.
Well, there were
And
four
the
of us that went, and of the four, I was the one who was the huge skeptic.
mhm.
By the
That's okay
end
though.
of the night, going into the next morning, yeah, not so much anymore. But
But that's okay because when you're a skeptic, that's when the most things happen. So,
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
you're just
Lucky
not
that
thinking about it,
Robbie
it's
has it
right out of the
tonight.
blue.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I I mean, I'm still part skeptic on some things, but I
You have to
still
be.
believe
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You have
But
to
you
be.
gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Next question we got here is, when did Short Bus come together as a team, and how long you been doing this for?
Well, we originally it was Sue and I and two of our very good friends started roughly 10 years ago, somewhere like that.
Mhm.
It was just on a whim thing we started and we started hitting a few locations. We got along really well, everything went well, but they wanted to go on a different out on their own. They
Mhm.
wanted to
Mhm.
do a different version of the paranormal, which is fine. Absolutely. We're still best friends. We'll still
Right.
go out for dinner and all that good stuff. So there was no issue. We just went different directions.
Mhm.
So at that point, Sue and I looked at each other and we says, "How about asking my nephew and his wife?"
Right.
So we asked them, and they went on their first one, and just like us,
Hooked.
they got hooked at that point, and it just kind of grew. And we've made some changes to the team off and on throughout the
Mhm.
process of the years. Still good friends with everybody that
Mhm.
has gone, which is awesome.
You know,
If we ever,
you just grow for a better towards a
yeah,
better fit, and
absolutely,
Right.
you
You
know
gotta have that very well connection.
that
yeah,
cohesion. You need that cohesion.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
So now we're at the point, the team we've got now, we've probably been at this group about 3 years
About 3 years.
at
Yeah.
the same team now,
Mhm.
and I really like. We mesh really well. Our
Mhm.
energies are all really well. Our styles are all alike.
And each one of us brings something very unique to the table.
Yeah.
Yep. And
So
that's good. That's a good thing.
yeah. Mhm.
Hmm.
You wanna be different and show your different capabilities, and
Absolutely.
that's
Exactly.
how different results come out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if
I
everybody's the same, it's just
It
too
gets
plain.
kinda blah.
Yeah. Absolutely. It does.
It's vanilla.
Yeah.
It's just vanilla
Yeah.
by that point.
Hmm.
We
Yeah,
want
because I
sprinkles.
talked to Brian a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
me and him talk quite a bit, in and out while we're in chat and stuff like that,
That's
so
good.
it's, and we had a long chat for quite a while about Manor, and
Hmm.
it was a good chat, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm really very happy that we brought him and his wife in on the team.
Yeah.
They're really into it. They've experienced some crazy stuff just like we have, and they're still
mhm.
coming along. So that says a lot for them.
And
So,
Amy is
Oh,
very
yeah.
gifted.
yeah.
So it's really cool having her there.
Right, right. Yeah, I get to chat with both of them, and it's you get to really know a lot of people when you start getting in chats, and they get to know you, who you are,
Yep.
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
that's and that's a good feed sometimes when you do the Facebook Lives. So,
Hmm.
Mhm.
all right. Next question we got here, if it drops down for me.
Give me,
So, do you have a specific location that you call home away from home?
we do.
Well, we
Yes.
could go. That would
Yeah.
be
probably probably a few if you were given to stay like 2 months there.
well, true. That would have to be Edinburgh Manor. It's
Mhm.
only about 45 minutes away from our house,
Yeah.
and we go there oh geez,
2, 3 times a year.
if not more. And we've been going there for 10 years. It is
Yeah.
definitely a home away from home.
No.
And it's come up in discussion a couple times. A good friend of ours, Kat, had brought it up. The
Hmm.
question is about returning to a location if there's better interaction with the spirits. Edinburgh Manor is truly an
Yeah.
example of that. We get incredible interaction with the spirits there because we're there so much. They know us, we
Oh
know
yeah.
them.
Hmm.
The good spirits, especially, we have great interaction with them, and the not so nice ones still
Yeah.
look for us at times. But as
Well,
you know, but
yeah,
yeah, Edinburgh Manor is definitely our home away from home.
Mhm.
yeah.
We're
And the thing
looking.
is it's not that expensive to go do this
No,
place.
It really isn't. No,
it's
I
not.
mean,
no.
45 bucks a person to do it for so many hours is unheard of.
It
I
is.
mean,
The trick is trying to get in there
Yeah.
that is
to
true.
book it up so fast.
No.
Oh yeah, and see that's why in May I'm going for 2 nights because that's my
Mhm.
opportunity. I said
Absolutely.
I'm jumping in 2 nights. I don't care
Yes.
if you want
Yeah.
to do
Yes.
one, that's okay. I'll do two. I
No.
mean,
And
if
it
you
Yes.
want,
really is that location is best if you can book it to
For
do
two
two
nights.
nights.
Yeah.
We
yeah,
truly believe that. That's what we always do. Well, just about every time do 2 nights.
Yeah.
Our first one this year in April is only a single night, but that's just because of scheduling.
Yeah.
But our other stops there are 2 nighters.
yeah. And Melbourne was a great place for me to go to. I mean,
Oh,
that's another place that
Love
it's
Melbourne.
an
Yep.
endless place to go to. You can keep going and
Mhm.
back and back and back, and
And
you
it's
get something
never the
different.
same. Yep.
it
Never the same
absolutely.
twice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's always
changes its
different in that
mood.
location.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
so, and then I talked to Kat a lot too about the
yeah.
Edinburgh Manor, and we become really good
Mhm.
friends. And
She's
uh,
a sweetheart. Her and William, the team,
oh
everybody.
yeah,
They've got a great team.
Yep.
great interaction and stuff. And
Yeah.
because of her, I actually now have friends that's in the southern state with me called We Are Paranormal.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
So now I've caught up with them, and now we're going to
Mhm.
be doing something sometime this year. And
Very
you
nice.
know,
Fun.
Very
so
nice.
maybe I get to do a little more traveling than I want to.
Yeah.
As the wife is going,
I will pay
no.
someone else to drive.
I was going to say the wife is going, no, Darren, I don't want to drive anymore.
Pretty much, pretty much. She's like, I told her about this team on Sunday, and she's like, "Well, that place is only 45 minutes away. I could have taken you to come back home." Yeah, but well, it's a lot better than going to Iowa all the time. And I'm like, yeah, but that's where all my friends are. And that's where all the good places
Job
are.
here. Yeah.
So my friends, I got a girl here in this Wisconsin, so
Uh,
we'll get
So when are
there.
you going in May? When in
May
May are you
13th and
going?
14th.
Okay.
Very nice.
We
Uh,
might have to pop out just to meet you.
Yeah, come on out. I asked her to bring Curtis Miller out too because I haven't met him yet.
Curtis
Yes.
is
Oh my gosh, you'll
he's a
love
great guy.
Curtis. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So while I'm
He
there,
goes
meet everybody.
yeah.
Yes.
Curtis goes quite a few times with us to different locations during the process of the year. Him and his wife Jody are awesome people.
Yeah.
They're a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes down there probably 4 or 5 times a week just to check
Oh,
in the
yeah,
place. And I know Kat,
Minimum.
she goes there
Yeah.
about 2 or 3 times a week. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those two log a lot of hours in that place, and
They
the
do.
spirits know them very well.
oh yeah. And you just wonder how much they really feed off of them when you bring other teams in too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So okay. So the next question we got on hand here is what is your favorite piece of gear and least favorite piece of gear that you use?
My favorite is hands down the paranormal music box. I love that. If we had no other equipment than that, I would be okay.
Mm.
I love
Mhm.
it, love it, love it. Least favorite, I don't know. K2? We don't get a whole lot with that.
Oh, but I think
It
every piece
depends
of
on the
equipment,
location.
but that's just it. I think different pieces of equipment have a tendency to work different in different locations.
Hmm.
I
Right,
mean,
right.
a good example of that is we have REM pods, of course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Our REM pod, we carried that for years. It got to the point we weren't getting much with it, or going, why are we carrying this thing? And
Mhm.
then it was like 2 years ago, it seemed like that was the piece of equipment that everything interacted
Yeah.
with. No matter
Yep.
what the location we went to, that was the piece that we got the interaction with.
Hmm.
So I guess it just all depends on the location you're at, how it's used, how the spirits want to use it. I don't
Mhm.
think we really have a piece of equipment that we don't like to use. We always try to use about as much as we can to try and see what the spirits are willing to
Yeah.
interact with us with.
Right.
And this question next year may be completely different because we've got some new stuff that we've got coming in.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. And then for those people who will watch this YouTube video, or some paranormal equipment are cheap and you can get
Yeah,
really easily, and then there's some that are really expensive that you gotta save up your money
yeah,
for. And
absolutely.
and then there's no shame in saving up for what you want, because you know it's
No,
gonna work,
Hmm.
but
yeah,
you're curious of what it's gonna do.
yeah,
You know.
Probably one of the simplest and the best pieces of equipment is just a digital recorder.
yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah.
I mean, I just picked up one that was a between 30 and $35 on Amazon. It's a
Hmm.
digital pen recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars. I mean,
No.
No?
you can go in there with the bare basics, a recorder and a camera
And a
and,
flashlight.
and a flashlight. Yeah, a
And
flashlight,
be good.
and
Yeah.
get amazing interaction. You
Yeah.
really can.
Right.
Sometimes just the basics are the best. Sometimes.
Hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of these recorders have multiple microphones on them. This pen
yeah.
has an omnidirectional, so it's got
Oh,
that
nice.
bubble that just shoots out.
That's
Yeah,
very
I gotta
nice.
look for
Yeah,
one of those.
yeah,
Yeah.
very nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's I was astounded. Like it could hold up to, just I don't know why the paperwork says this, but it's one short of 10,000 recordings.
Oh, jeez,
Yeah.
that'll keep you happy for a lot of hours in the basement going over it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, you could hook it up to your computer and plug it right in and just listen what's going
Oh,
on.
nice.
And it became with earbuds. It's just
Wow.
I'm like, that's a steal for what I got.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
So,
making
and
me jealous. I'll have to see if we can find
You
one.
need to PM me that
I'll send you the
information.
link. I'll send you the
Yeah.
Perfect.
link.
Perfect.
So, but I mean, and then it's also good for covert investigations, or just going
Mhm.
for a tour to a place that you know uh, you may not know that it's haunted, and it might turn
Yeah,
out being haunted if you look at
Yeah.
it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and that's a good strike sometimes.
it is.
Yes.
It really is. Yeah.
All right, now I gotta see where I am in my questions.
Number 5.
Number 5, Mambo number 5. Here we are.
I've
So, what is favorite experiment that you have done?
I love the Estes. I absolutely love the Estes experiment. I've had some of the most amazing interaction and responses, and I've had also at the same time performing it my most terrifying account ever happened to me while
Hmm.
doing the Estes experiment. So I ran the whole
Mhm.
gamut, but I just absolutely love doing the Estes. It For me, like with a lot of people, it puts me into a completely
Different
di-
headspace.
disembodied space. It seems I
Kinda like
seem
an
to be able to interact.
astral projection type deal.
Absolutely, I've
Right.
seen things when I'm deep into that I would never see in a normal state. Where what I've seen with this sometimes and felt and interacted was absolutely fantastic. And like I said, scared the crap out of me too. So I
Mhm.
absolutely love the Estes.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's
Sue
a
has
great
not yet
tool.
really done it, but we'll get her into it yet.
Yeah, for
No.
me, I prefer to and it doesn't happen very often. Is just to be able to go off somewhere by myself in the quiet
Mhm.
and just listen.
Yeah, and that's what you
That's
gotta do sometimes.
but there's usually just too much noise going on that
Mhm.
I don't get that complete silence that I would prefer.
Depending on the size of the location, it can be hard to find that
Yeah,
absolute
Yeah.
quiet spot
yeah.
sometimes.
But otherwise, interacting with the kids,
Mm.
that's my jam.
Yeah.
And so,
See, I'm gonna be bringing I can't think of it now. I can't think of it's such a alright. Alright, I'll
moving
move on to
on.
that one. But I have the FLIR that I'm gonna be bringing, so I'm gonna
Wow.
see what
Oh,
Wow.
that's gonna be
nice.
like.
No,
Um,
it's I've got
and then
some.
I go ahead.
Go ahead, Darren.
I was just thinking what I was gonna get, now I lost it again.
No. No. Well, I've been talking to a couple people, and I've got some experiments that I want to try this year that I'm really looking forward to. There's a couple of them that people are going to go, "You're nuts," because they involve a Ouija board. But I know of
Yeah.
a couple locations that they're allowed to be used, and I'm going to take advantage of that.
Mhm.
And like I said, to me, used with respect,
Yep.
used the way they should be used,
But with caution.
opened and closed properly. To me, they are just the old version of the spirit box.
Hmm.
To
Right.
me, the Ouija board got its bad rep mainly because of the old slasher movies and
Mhm.
college kids drinking on a movie and they're bringing in the devil and they all die. I
Yep.
think to
Right,
me that's
right.
what scares so many people with the Ouija board. And I've talked to a couple people and I've worked with them before. I've got some. I'll be doing these a couple of them live.
Okay,
So
cool.
absolutely, I'm looking forward to it. But it's got to be the right location. My nephew Brian, he's all aboard, ready to jump in it. So yeah,
Yep.
I'm looking forward to doing a couple of these this year.
And I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, that's
See
all you
what I
can
get.
do.
No.
Yep.
A plasma ball is what I was gonna say. That's
Oh,
gonna
Ooh.
okay.
try.
No,
So,
nice.
because it's got a
Hmm.
wide range of electricity, and I
Yes.
just
It
wanna
does
see what I
absolutely.
could draw in.
Hmm.
Yes.
Um, have you ever thought about doing, like, water deprivation type deal?
No, I have no.
Mm-mm.
I've read about it and that, but I've never thought about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I got off of, like, Stranger Things and stuff like that, where
Hmm.
she gets put in a tank, and then all these things, she
Yeah.
comes upon herself and stuff, so, I try to talk Chris Nielsen into it, and he's on board, so
I have gone down the road a couple times with the scribing in the mirror. I've had
Oh,
some
yeah.
interesting things show up and come through on that as well. That kind of gave me the creeps a little bit, but to the point where, and it was at Edinburgh where
Of course.
I got myself into the mirror that I had to actually break myself away, but it was like the mirror kept trying to draw me back into that mirror. And but I knew well enough that I couldn't go back into that situation. So I
Mhm.
stayed away. But boy, it took a lot to fight the feeling that I needed to go back in and get back into that situation.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. And I hear you. I mean, everything takes time.
yeah.
Takes time. Okay, so I don't have my questions here. Uh, oh,
Oh
there we
wow,
go.
that's no that that's a really tough one. Because pretty much every location that I could think of has had something memorable.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's a tough one. But I think I know which one Sue's going to pick for her most memorable. So I'm going to, oh, maybe what? Hinsdale?
No, not for me.
Why? With the motion sensor on the
Well,
stairs?
that's you.
Well, that's kind of an everything. Okay, I'll take it then. Hinsdale House last
That's
year up in
it.
New York. We had
Yeah.
a amazing location. Absolutely, if anybody gets a chance to go,
Go.
highly recommend. Definitely a two-nighter. And if you're up there, make the trip worthwhile. Hit the Wildwood Sanitarium as well. That's a great
Oh, yeah.
location as well. But
Yeah, I gotta meet Dan, most definitely.
Dan's an awesome guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. We had a motion sensor sitting on the stairs, and as we walked by, it kept going off. So I'm going, oh, enough of this. So I turned it so that the sensor was into the back of the stairs and slid it back into the corner. And we had walked into what they call the living room where the exorcism and all that had been taken place back in the day.
Exorcism had been done on the house.
Yep. Yep.
And we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, the motion sensor starts going off. And we're going, is that? We're going, there's no way that thing should be going off. It's turned into the corner. Nothing should be setting it off. It
Right.
stopped. It did it again. It did it 3 times. So, all right, we gotta. So we got up, walked into the stair, looked at it. Someone or something had actually taken the motion sensor, turned it completely around, and moved it about 8 inches out into the middle of the stairs. And
Jeez.
just before that, I had watched a white mist come through the kitchen off that stairway and head back into the 1 bedroom. But
Wow.
that was pretty amazing.
And after the sensor had gone off, we had different pieces of equipment on the living room table right in front of one of our team members, and that equipment started going off as well. It was almost like she had a crush on our team member. It was really pretty cool. So,
That's funny.
mine, boy, it's like one of 3.
Pick one.
It probably had to be at Beatty Mansion.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a good place. I like
Yes.
that place.
Yeah.
I was up in the kids' bedroom, sitting in a rocking chair across the room from a shelf that had my music box and those little cat twinkle balls.
Mm-hmm.
And just for, I mean, I called out for the kids, and before I knew it, both music box and the twinkle balls would start going off, and then I told them to quit playing with the toys and to come to me, and the whole
Ah,
right side of me would just freeze, and everything would be quiet. And then
wow.
I'd count to 3 and I'd say go, and all of a sudden the music box would start playing again, twinkle ball would start flashing again, and then I'd say, okay kids, get back, come back to me, and
Mm-hmm.
everything would stop, and again my right side would freeze. And this
Wow.
went on for a good hour with the kids. It was amazing. And
Jeez.
so I finally took the toys away from them because otherwise we'd probably still be there playing.
Oh.
But
Yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine that.
so that for me was really cool. But
Mhm.
most of my most memorables usually do involve something with the children,
Yeah,
a child or children.
right. And
Yeah,
if you can help them feel better where they're at and be calm, and then they know that they're waiting for you when you come back.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, if
So,
there's children in a location, they are drawn to Sue with her being an empath. They are really drawn to her, and they
We have
they have
fun.
a tendency to drain a lot of her energy over the process of an investigation. So she's all
yeah.
gung ho, and then all of a sudden she
Dropped like a
crashes.
rock. He's gone.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Next question we have on here is, what's been the most rewarding for you that has happened to you during this field of paranormal?
Hands down, the people we've met.
Absolutely, that's
Yep.
that's the reward of meeting so many new people, making so many new friends, and learning so many things, and being able to travel and hang out with these people. That by far is the most rewarding thing for us. I mean, yeah, interacting with the spirits is fantastic, but we've met so many amazing people in our
Mhm.
journey on this. That's what we really enjoy. We really enjoy meeting people in that when it comes to this.
Yep, I totally agree 100%. If it wasn't for, coming across Roland and Cynthia's Facebook page back in
Back
18,
in the day.
Yeah,
yeah, back in
yeah,
early March of 2018,
Yeah.
I met them or started with them on
yeah,
their Facebook page, and it's like, when you find these people and they just stick. They just
yep,
stick.
absolutely. Yep, yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they're friends, but then they become family.
Yeah,
Right. Right. And then it's just your family grows to other people, and
Yes.
and you're there to protect everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just the favorites and all that. I mean, yeah, you might have your favorites that you like to hang around with, but you protect everybody because it's
Yeah.
everybody's life that's involved.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's so cool to be just the position we're in, but all of a sudden now you're going out and you're running into people that are authors and people that are
Yeah.
actually well known in the paranormal world, and they treat you like they've known you forever, which I think is really, really cool. That so many of these people are down to earth and
Right.
don't have big heads about it. I mean, that's the cool
Right.
part. You're meeting people that write books and sell all kinds of books, and all of a sudden they're talking to you like, "Oh, I know
Mhm.
about you guys," and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
they look at you and go, "We caught one of your Facebook lives," and we're going, "Really?
What?
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Thank you."
Right. Right. Exactly. That's just you feel really good, and then you get those people who's like, okay, I'm going this way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You do what
yeah,
you want to do. I'm gonna go the other way.
absolutely. But that's
And
all right.
that's okay
Yeah,
too.
it's not
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I mean, you can mesh what you want to mesh with, and not what you want to.
Absolutely.
So, because you know that they're gonna hurt you, and you don't want to be hurt. So,
Yep,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
all right. Last and final question here, and this is always a tough one.
That one is tough. It's
So, go ahead.
there's just so much debate in that right now. It's just there's so much debate between kind of like circling back to part of our answers before, equipment.
Mhm.
There's so much debate on people are using equipment that's not necessary. It's all it is giving you false confidence and all that. So you've got two sides of that. You've got the no equipment, new equipment, battle going on there.
Mhm.
Some of that stuff is just so hard. I think that's what I think. It's a tough. It, I think it could head in the right direction, but I don't really know how everybody could ever really mesh together on how they feel about things.
Yeah.
I guess
Mhm.
what I'm trying to say there's because people always have their own opinions, which is fantastic. So it's tough
Right.
to for everybody to come together unanimously on something.
Yeah.
And there's nothing
Mhm.
wrong with that either. So I think it
No.
could work. It's there's always going to be that edge in there, I think,
Yeah.
is what I'm trying to say. I don't
Well,
know if
there's
it'll ever
the
100% work.
I think it's the bullying that I think that needs to stop a little bit more too.
Yes.
It is, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, don't be afraid to show what you have to other people. I mean, that just makes you stronger and figure out,
Isn't that
okay, how
what
did
we're
they get
all here
this?
for? Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're all here
Yeah.
for.
And I think
Right.
Is to share
and I
information.
think that's what
Right.
what I'm afraid of and what I've seen in a couple different posts, and it really upset me because you get new people getting into this.
Mhm.
They're not positive of what they got, so they post it out there, or they even post a question, and you get some great answers and you get some
Yeah.
great feedback. But then you also get somebody that comes back, gives them crap for posting the picture and what kind of
Mhm.
stuff is this, and it can really upset some people to the point where going, well, I'm
They
not
don't
going to
want to
do
do
this
it.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I mean, it's just a question. I mean, we all got two eyes, but it's always great to have the extra pair of eyes to see it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Or the extra ability or the extra sense or whatever, to all
mhm.
help us out with
Yeah.
each other.
I think
I mean,
if we want to advance this, we've all got to be willing to answer the questions without being sarcastic about it,
right.
and to our best knowledge,
Yeah.
always try to help somebody. And that's one
Right.
of the other things that we really like to do. If we can answer somebody's question, we absolutely will do our best to do it. And
Mhm.
if we can't answer it, we're going to try and hook them up with somebody that can,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or get some information and pass it on back to them. I
Mhm.
love doing that kind of stuff for people.
Right. And that's the same thing why I also and you see my YouTube videos where I post paranormal question of the day.
Yep.
Mhm.
I do that because I want to hear what people's ideas. I want their thoughts. I want to know what they think about this.
Yep.
How deep can you get with this question when it's just a simple question?
Hmm.
You know.
Well, in the
So
paranormal field, there is never a dumb question.
no,
No.
I mean,
Yeah, so
unless
don't
you
ever
wanna
be
say,
afraid
how
to
do I work
ask.
a flashlight?"
Yeah,
That's
that
true.
one we might go, hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
"What are you
Check the
Mhm.
smoking tonight?"
batteries. Yeah, yeah.
"Give me some of that
Like,
stuff."
like
Yep.
go
Um,
ask your 4-year-old. I think they can fill you in
Right,
because
right.
mhm.
that would
What
be
do
the one
batteries
dumb
look
one.
like?
Well,
Yeah. Mm.
I
yeah,
mean,
it's I don't
you'll
know if
get
there's
one like that.
I don't really know if there is a really, we all want to try and go to the right direction with this, but it's really tough with so many different ideas and all that to try and
Mhm.
everybody to come together.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
just the main thing is we don't need anybody with egos to be out there and think that
No.
they everybody needs to help everybody
Absolutely.
in this.
The ego's
You
gotta
don't
stay
need
out of this.
Yeah.
absolutely. You
Yeah.
can never feel like you're any better or than the next person out there.
Ye
What drives me nuts when somebody calls themselves an expert in the paranormal field,
No such
I don't
thing.
think there is such a thing, in my opinion. See, there's my opinion,
Nope.
but because it's always constantly learning,
It's
constantly
it's
changing.
constantly changing.
You
Yep.
can
Yes.
be an expert at
Absolutely.
something in it, like considered an expert in doing part of it, but in the paranormal field,
As a whole.
as a whole, I don't think you can be considered
Mhm.
an expert.
No.
Mm. No, I never will. I never will,
Mm.
because you always learn with new teams and new ideas and new you
Absolutely.
branch out and,
Yeah.
and
So
consolidate with things.
Yeah.
it's so cool seeing new things that other people come up with that
Mhm.
get you excited to want to try it too.
Yeah.
And you actually gave me a good idea that I might start posting.
Awesome.
Nice. So, you'll see it posted probably tomorrow, and I just gotta get the logo probably up for it, but I you gave me an idea,
All
so
right.
Awesome.
Nice.
Great. Glad we
Hey,
could help.
there we go. Love to help. We love to help.
See? See? There we go. You see it in the flesh.
See, great minds working together.
Yep. Yep, exactly. So, with that, we'll leave everybody with that great positive viewpoint on everything,
I like
and,
that.
thank you guys for doing this
Thank you.
interview. Great seeing you guys. It was an awesome time. I love
Yep.
doing these things. Come up with some new questions for another interview down the road.
Absolutely.
And with that, I bid you guys adieu, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank
Good night,
you.
everybody. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you on the next one.